We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, and now, our World Broadcasting Tag Team Champions of the World and a Cruiserweight Champion.
I'm Ethan.
I'm James.
I'm Rob.
And this is episode 192 of Beyond the Ropes. We are BTR Pro Wrestling Talk. Of course, I'm your host, Ethan, joined alongside the Analyst James Williams and Producer Rob Flores. Go ahead and find me on Twitter at EthanAV95. You can follow James at
JHW Reporter.
You can follow Producer Rob Flores at
Rob Flores Media. And don't forget the R2 DMs for Ethan.
He's been busy the last couple of weeks, hasn't he? Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at RealBTR Radio, as well as Facebook, facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes. Of course, go ahead and find us on Anchor. I believe we're also on Spotify. We're on every major podcast platform. Go ahead and find us there. You'll find this background as the image right now.
If you're watching on YouTube, so
you're watching on YouTube, YouTube.com. Search up Beyond the Ropes. Apple Podcasts. Yeah, we're on all major podcast platforms. Search up Beyond the Ropes, and you'll see this very colorful image right here. They covered everything there. First and foremost, let's get this out of the way, James, because I know you've been waiting for it for a long time. I would like to acknowledge my tribal chief. Over 600 days as Universal Champion, as undisputed Universal Champion. Roman Reigns, we the ones. Throw those ones up in the air, up high. I know you want to do it. Sir. Look at that. Ones right there. Look at that. Bloodline.
Jesus.
Everything. Do you have anything to say about over 600 days, James?
No, not necessarily. I mean, he's on TV most of the time, so I'm mad at it, but
single-handedly carrying on his back.
So here's the thing. Is he gonna do it for a whole year? Like, is he gonna go a whole nother year? Can we get somebody different? What are we doing here?
You know, he's carrying SmackDown on his back. I think he should just carry the show until he decides to call it quits.
Okay, wait. Is he on Raw?
He has not been on Raw. He's a busy guy. He sent over the Usos to Raw, though. So the bloodline is represented.
I mean, sure, but are you not the Raw champion?
I mean, he shows up when he wants to.
Has he shown up at all?
There's no worthy competitor for him at the moment. So
see, this is what I don't like about it already, because if he does get in a storyline, so if he's going to be the champion on both shows, or they're going to unify the title or whatever, right? He's going to fight. He's still only going to be on one show, because then the guy he's going to be competing against is only going to be on that respective show. And then how are they going to determine number one contenders? How are they going to, like, this isn't going to work.
You don't know about that? He was on SmackDown.
Huh?
He was on SmackDown. So
okay, but that's what I'm saying. So what is Raw doing?
They don't need. Oh, they're doing just fine. Solid episode this past week.
I mean, sure, but
it's fine. The tag team champions are carrying Raw right now.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell you either. I think the Bloodline's carrying both shows. That's all you need.
No. Don't put it on like the Bloodline is carrying both shows.
Right.
You're saying the Usos were on both shows. Don't try and like loop Roman Reigns in.
He's part of he sent them over.
No.
They showed it on TV the other day.
No.
Say go to Raw.
I mean, we'll see. I'm curious to see what happens. What they have WrestleMania Backlash. They're supposed to unify the titles, right? I mean,
they're going to unify the tag titles.
So this is regardless, right? Because it doesn't matter who wins.
The titles are going to get unified.
Their titles are going to get unified. So we know there's going to be a unification there. And Roman Reigns does or does not have an opponent for WrestleMania Backlash at this moment.
At this moment, no. I think he's gonna wait it out. I think he's gonna.
What does he got to wait out for?
have a stadium show.
This is how. So this is
only
how
have a
this
stadium
streak
show.
becomes bogus. The 600 days. That's bogus.
You're gonna
Is
tell.
when is
Bruno
WrestleMania Backlash?
I don't know, like a week or something.
Ah. So
Sure.
not only does he hold both titles, but he's not even going to wrestle.
Well, did Bruno wrestle every week?
No, but they didn't have a show every week, or more than one show every week.
Well, it's
Not
all right.
on TV, anyways.
It's all right. It's a little different.
Yeah, it's a little different. So why'd you bring it up?
I'm just saying. Did Bret Hart wrestle every week?
Yes,
Apparently, he re-signed with WWE, so I'm sure you're very happy with that.
I did see that. Was thrilled about it. Interesting to see where they go with that, especially with the Owen Hart stuff going on AEW. But
Martha said, "I don't want him," and so
yeah, well, we ain't gonna. We'll leave
that
Martha be.
line is a little saucy over there.
Huh?
That bloodline's a little saucy over there.
Yeah, well, they've been for years, but no, but the thing is, what do they go by? What F?
I don't know anymore. Wherever whatever they want to be called.
FTR, yes, FTR. Bret Hart's supposed to manage them, yes, and it's supposed to be on, not on AEW, but on some show, where Tully Blanchard, I believe, is on the other side as the manager for his guys. So, I'm assuming that hasn't happened yet. So if he has signed with WWE, that means WWE is maybe going to let him go through with it. I think it's just a legend contract for Bret.
I think they're luring. Apparently, there's interest in FTR, so I think they're trying to lure FTR over. I don't think it's not necessarily scared of them.
So I think I did hear something about that. I think I did hear something about that too. And again, I mean, I guess.
Along with the tag division,
but
the tag division's carrying Raw. That's
one. So it would help the tag division. But now remind me, because I feel like we talked about this like not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't FTR? Well, FTR had a whole thing with Shawn Michaels, right? That was the thing, right? They had some falling out with Shawn Michaels there.
Shawn and Triple H, I think. Yeah, posted a picture with Bret with the middle finger. So
who?
Of Bret.
Oh, well, like right after, right?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're Team Bret anyway. But no, I don't know. It's just weird. It's just weird because now anyone who has a problem in AEW with WWE are actually the ones who are more likely to now go, because isn't that the thing with Cody, right? Like he's smashing the what looked like a Triple H themed chair, like different things like that, right? I mean, not that Cody's ever said anything bad, like in the media wise, about WWE, but obviously there were some shots taken, and it makes for good TV and all that. But interesting.
He's gone back and said Triple H is actually his favorite wrestler, and he doesn't understand why he kind of started taking those shots. So
yeah.
I don't know. Anyways,
everyone says WWE needs MJF from AEW. That's what Rob said in the chat. I mean, sure, everyone would benefit from having someone like an MJF, but at the same time, you're counting on WWE to book MJF the same way, which we've seen they have kind of done with some AEW guys, like Cody Rhodes, for example, is the guy, but
the only exception right now.
Well, yeah, but if you look at how AJ Styles is translated over, he's kind of more or less been the same. I think Finn Balor maybe has been the same, but I'm not saying MJF's not bad. And I haven't, he's great. I've heard a lot of good things about him as far as his work and how he is. But they already got The Miz. Is it any different?
No.
So that's what I'm saying.
I don't think so. I mean, not really. But I mean, it would be a benefit to have someone like him. He's definitely young. Still has a long.
Oh yeah, he's still young.
But I think they also have someone kind of in a similar fashion of The Miz. I'm not saying it's kind of the same thing with MJF or anything, but theory. I mean,
yeah,
he was on Miz TV and they were comparing everything. So he's basically a younger version of what The Miz was 15 years ago in a sense. So it's not like you really need an MJF there, because it seems like Vince has already chosen who he wants.
Well, I mean, hey, if you're gonna make the statements that you make and say the things that you're gonna say, again, we saw that with Drew McIntyre, and then I remember there was a point in time where I'm like, what went wrong? Like, it was just everything that was and is, and things kind of turned around, and maybe that's just Vince kind of holding up on that promise. But yeah, so he got the they did what they had to do to prove that Drew McIntyre at the time is now the chosen one, or they follow through with that. But at the same time, now they're gonna do the same thing with Austin Theory. We don't know if Vince McMahon's gonna own the company in 5 years when Austin Theory is supposed to hit his prime. But then again, it's like, I don't know. It's not like Drew McIntyre's out of the picture completely, but
it seems like they're setting up McIntyre to be Roman's next opponent. It's not a WrestleMania Backlash, but it seems like they're definitely doing that because there was something after SmackDown last week that seemingly is setting that up. So, Theory reminds me too much of Brad Maddox.
Brad Maddox never did anything to show he was anything. Not in the ring, anyways.
MJF. So Rob is, by the way, anyone listening, this is from the chat here. Gimmicks get away with trashing the audience, disrespecting them. Yeah, but he gets a lot of pops too. He does.
So Rob said in the chat that MJF's gimmick, his gimmick allows him to get away with trashing the audience, disrespecting them, and having him. And he's been seen on cameo videos where people pay to have you say things or wish you happy birthday. So in some case, he wished someone a happy birthday, as Rob's stating, and he disrespects or probably ends up telling them to have a bad birthday. And that's fine, but they know what they're getting into, and that's the whole gimmick. So it's like, that's part. I mean, we're going to talk a little bit more about Becky Lynch. I saw a tweet from Becky Lynch today where she used the B word on somebody, but she's, you say what you want about the television program or rating and how maybe it's PG-13 or maybe they're tiptoeing a little bit past PG-13 at this point, maybe in some regard, but on Twitter, anything goes. And Becky Lynch is the perfect example of that. Rob also mentioned Bad Bunny. We'll talk about Bad Bunny here maybe a little bit later, unless, do you know anything about the superhero he's going to be portraying other than it's from Spider-Man?
No, it's just another Sony Spider-Man spinoff they're trying to make money off of. So,
but true. So it is a spinoff, but you're getting Bad Bunny, who is a Latin pop star.
He's gonna draw.
He's gonna draw. The movie comes out in January 2024. It's gonna be a lucha libre or a luchador anti-hero from the Spider-Man series. Whether or not Spider-Man's going to be in it, probably not. But again, I just find it interesting, and I wonder how much was taken into account that Bad Bunny was at WrestleMania, was in the Royal Rumble, is a wrestling fan.
WWE made him a star. There you go.
Well, I mean,
Rey Mysterio was robbed.
No, it makes me wonder though. Like, did Bad Bunny know he was going to get this part, and so that's why maybe he got into the wrestling industry a little bit to kind of get some of that, or maybe because he was, that made him a draw as to maybe get him casted for this. But then too, I mean, I'm trying to remember how he is with his English. I mean, I don't think his English is horrible, but like, again, I don't know too much about the character, but 2024, I would actually maybe go watch this just because I'm curious to see how they would pull this off. And I don't know very much about Bad Bunny in terms of acting, so would be curious, but he's dipping into all forms of it for sure.
Definitely. Let's get into Monday Night Raw, shall we?
We can.
Not to discuss, because it was the 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
Yesterday, as we're recording this, April 25th, 2002 was the debut of one Randall Keith Orton on SmackDown, took on Hardcore Holly.
I remember.
Ended up winning that match, and we celebrated his 20th anniversary this past Monday on Raw. The show kicked off with Riddle in the middle of the ring, and so we had most of the Raw roster basically outside of the ring, so they were celebrating Orton there. They played a great video package, as they always do, kind of going through Orton's career, his accomplishments, his big moments and stuff. And then they introduced Orton. He thanked a number of wrestlers, including Cena, Mick Foley, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Ric Flair, so on. Thanked the WWE Universe, thanked Riddle because he stated this was the most fun he's had in his 20 years, his time with Riddle, which it shows. He seems to be having a lot more fun these days than ever.
Now he said all this on Raw.
This was during the show, yes, during his promo.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see, Riddle had a surprise for him. An old friend, someone who called Orton a mentor and a locker room leader, and he introduced the American Nightmare. Cody Rhodes came out, gave him a big hug. Obviously, legacy reunion there. They had some history.
And they acknowledged that to some.
They acknowledge it to some degree. They didn't actually talk to each other, but the commentators did acknowledge there's obviously a lot of history there between them two. And in the video package there was a few legacy clips. So
okay, did they show young Teddy DiBiase in there?
They sure did. He was in those couple clips. So a little bit there. So that was kind of the gist of the celebration that we got. It was interrupted, but I'm going to save who interrupted that celebration until after the break. But when we return, we're going to continue Monday Night Raw. We had a few returns as well. We'll discuss and break down. Might talk a little bit about WrestleMania Backlash. And we'll do that. Maybe we'll talk more Spider-Man. Yeah, Morbius did fail, technically. Not very well.
I mean, I knew it was gonna fail. I never knew who was in it. I never even knew that superhero from the beginning. So it didn't do anything for me, anyways.
Jared Leto. It was another Spider-Man anti-hero or whatever.
Oh, he was from Spider-Man. I guess. I don't know.
So, anyways, when we return, we'll talk more Monday Night Raw, right here on episode 192 of Beyond the Ropes. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM. KKJZ HD3 Long Beach, Los Angeles. Welcome back to episode 192 of Beyond the Ropes. I am your host Ethan, joined alongside the analyst James Williams and producer Rob Flores. Go ahead and find us on Twitter at RealBTR Radio, as well as Facebook.com/Beyond the Ropes, and YouTube. Just search up Beyond the Ropes. You'll also be able to listen to our beautiful voices over on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and every major podcast platform there. We were talking about Monday Night Raw, the 20th anniversary celebration of one legend killer, Apex Predator, Viper, Randy Orton. Cody Rhodes came out, gave a big hug to his mentor, as he was introduced as. And then Seth Rollins quickly interrupted, who was chilling by commentary, sitting down. Beautiful green suit, looking fashionable as always. You should take some tips, James.
Me.
All right. All right. He basically said he was warning Randy, because Seth also has history with Randy. He's trying to warn him. Saying don't fall for it. Cody Rhodes, the moment he finds a spotlight, he's gonna take it. He's gonna try and take it from you. So he told Cody, not everything's about you, so on and so forth. And then you had, I believe it was Ezekiel, a new favorite superstar. Ezekiel came in, interrupted Seth, saying, don't disrespect him, and I think it's a perfect opportunity to introduce myself to Randy Orton. I remember watching you as a legend killer with my older brother Elias when we were so little, and you shook his hand, and Randy shook his hand, and they met for the first time.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, it was been a couple of weeks, but I'm glad they finally met.
Look, I didn't care for the look here. What was he trying to be, the Ultimate Warrior?
That's his look. That's Ezekiel. He's a young upstart.
I mean, sure, a young upstart, but don't look like the Ultimate Warrior.
I mean, I think he's going to be better. I think he's. He's 3 weeks in. What, 3 weeks?
I was gonna say the bar to be better than the Ultimate Warrior isn't high, but actually it is, because he's actually won championships and whatnot. And
yeah.
We'll see where this gimmick goes. I don't know if this gimmick's gonna be headlining WrestleMania anytime soon, but
I don't know what gimmick you're
Maybe.
talking about. This is a young upstart who's trying to follow.
That's his gimmick, young upstart.
I guess so. I mean, forget Theory, forget all these guys. Let's put Ezekiel as the face of the company in the
Mhm.
next 20 years. Why not, right?
Yeah, because I'll put butts in the seats.
That's right. Who wants to speak with Zeke? That's right.
Wait, what?
That's his thing.
What is it?
Who wants to speak with Zeke? You got it. It's great. Great.
Wasn't someone, I forgot who said it. I feel like I repeated it, whoever said it last time, where it's like, isn't it like, so who wants to walk with Elias and who wants to run with Zeke, or who wants to run away from Zeke or something like that? But
who wants to speak with Zeke?
that's cool. I'm not. I couldn't have come up with anything better, so I'm not mad at it.
You know who doesn't want to speak with Zeke?
Who?
Kevin Owens.
Yes.
He came from the crowd. I don't know what he was doing in there. Maybe he was in the concessions or buying some merch. I don't know. I think he was wearing a different Kevin Owens shirt. So maybe he picked up a shirt on the way. So he's like, wait. Randy, I can't let you be lied to. He said, don't listen to that fake. He called Ezekiel a piece of trash, a liar. He's going to figure out how he beat the lie detector. And then the Usos interrupted. And they basically said their favorite moment from the last 20 years, of course, the Bloodline, carrying the shows, as I mentioned earlier. But they said their favorite moment of Randy is when he's going to lose to the Usos at WrestleMania Backlash. So,
we'll see.
Well, how dare you?
But so if RK Bro does lose the tag titles, then where do they go with Riddle and Randy from there? Because we know if the Usos lose, they still have something. They could still be part of Bloodline storyline. They're going to be a tag team.
They just got a new shirt. I don't know if you saw it, by the way.
I did not see it. Or is it the 421? Yeah, I saw it on. Someone was wearing it on Pat McAfee show. It's like green, right? They must came out with it quick, or maybe Pat McAfee brought it. I don't know.
Yeah, it could have been McAfee that grabbed it. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. They just got a new shirt. I don't know if they want to split them up. They still seem very popular. Although, what a better time to kind of split them up than at the height of their run, right? I mean,
yeah, but who turns?
Historically speaking, Randy would be the one to turn. Not saying Riddle can't be a heel, but
I mean, it would almost be obvious if Randy were to turn, but at the same time, you kind of need it to be Randy because
you wouldn't want
anyone because I don't know if people are gonna like Riddle as a heel. What is that gonna be like? I mean, I don't know if we even know what that is yet, right? Like we haven't even seen that. And he smiles too much.
He can be,
or he's too mellowed out.
He can be serious when he needs to be, but I don't know if I see him as a heel in it. Yeah, you're right. I mean,
it's gonna happen at some point. I'm sure. Like it would have to be.
I would think so. Yeah, eventually. But
maybe the team. Maybe they turn heel as a team.
That wouldn't be a terrible idea.
It would probably be the only way. Maybe you can transition and teach.
I don't know if you want them turning heel though, because the fans love them too much. It would have to be one of them turning on each other.
I think there's some room. I look, because at some point, like Riddle's Riddle, and he's a classic kind of babyface. Just in like, I can't really see him as a bad guy.
He's a little.
But I think if Randy or if Roman Reigns has to get turned heel, and Riddle's not Cena, where he's not ever gonna turn heel. So I feel like it's bound to happen. I just feel you have to do it. You have to do it with a guy like Randy, where he can kind of teach him how to not smile or something. I don't know, but I don't know. Just throwing it out there. But I'm just kind of curious to see where they go because, again, just this whole, it's going to end up in a DQ. They didn't. I mean, if Roman and Brock didn't end in a DQ and they unified that, there's no way the tag teams aren't going to. It has to be a DQ.
No, they're totally winning this time.
What is the?
There's no tag teams.
Well, look, maybe I'm jumping all over the place, but right now, what would the main event be for Backlash?
You got Charlotte versus Ronda. I Quit match.
Sure.
You got the tag title match, which they're building heavily.
That's what I'm saying. Is that gonna
Can't be
kind
a
of maybe?
DQ if it's headlining.
Yeah, that's why I thought it. That's why I'm asking.
I think it's probably going to be that because there's no world title match. There's no US title match. There's no IC title match. I'm trying to think what matches are on the card, actually, to be honest. Let me look up the card here.
While you do that, or maybe even before you do that, or you kind of get that ready, do you want to talk about some of the returns on Raw, or maybe we want to run down what happened on Raw first?
Let's run through. Okay, so these are some of the matches, actually. Happy Corbin versus Madcap Moss. Definitely not headline. Happy
Did
Corbin.
they split up?
They sure did.
I missed that.
You gotta catch up, sir. You gotta catch up. He was a little jealous that Madcap won that Andre Battle Royal, and he was being a little too happy.
And cost him at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he blamed him for the loss at Mania, and then he kind of turned on him. So that match is happening. That little feud is going on. So you got Madcap being the new babyface there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got Omos taking on Bobby Lashley. WrestleMania.
Right.
So that's confirmed. As I mentioned, Flair versus Rousey in an I Quit match. And then you have the tag title match. That's what we have so far. So there's that. There was also a report going around over the weekend about Vince not liking certain heels and baby faces, and maybe doing a little switcheroo with some of those people, which would explain a couple of turns, because apparently Xia Li might be a little heelish now as of last Friday.
Okay.
We definitely saw a heel turn after a return. We'll talk about that in a bit. So there's been some subtle changes. Obviously, Madcap just turned babyface. So we're seeing some turns here.
I mean, if there's going to be...
It'll be interesting to see where they go from there in terms of some of these turns that they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things play out. I mean, I don't think Vince McMahon necessarily was staying up late at night wondering if he was going to turn Madcap babyface or not. But I'm sure there's more coming. But where do you want to start with Raw?
Let's go through the show. Let's go through your favorite Bianca Belair.
Yes.
Knoxville. By the way, Randy Orton was born in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Yeah, I saw a tweet about that.
That he, it's so fitting that he was actually born there.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, Bianca Belair defended her Raw Women's Championship.
And Bianca went to the University of Tennessee?
I believe so, yeah.
I think at one point.
Mayor Kane was there.
Wow, the mayor.
He got a couple of appearances. He was there with Bianca before her match, and then backstage talking to Orton as well. So
he's talking to the residents, the good folks of
and then the Street Profits gave him a shout out. They were doing, their kind of promo throughout the mayor there. So
there you go.
But yeah, you're talking about Bianca Belair going to University of Tennessee, right?
Yeah, well, I just throwing it out there. I think there's just a tie there, or she's from.
She went to the university.
She did. I know she bounced around. She bounced around. I think she may have either been at Tennessee and then went to South Carolina. There was something in her story there, but I think she had to stop in Tennessee regardless. But yeah. Let me check in my notes here. She had a win over Queen Zelina, which I think now officially makes
not true.
That's what my notes say.
Sir, your notes are wrong.
Who did she beat?
The Raw Women's Championship.
Oh, she beat old girl
Sonya Deville.
What was I watching?
It was last week. That was last week. You were watching last week's.
No. Did she interfere or something?
So yeah, we'll go through it. We'll go through it. Started off a couple minutes in. Sonya Deville got counted out. Byron spilled some water apparently, and caused her to just slip, and so she wasn't able to get back in the ring.
Not Byron.
Well, allegedly, I don't know if that
was
true, but that's what she claims, that there was water spilled, and then Corey blamed Byron. So, so then she restarted the match with no countouts. A few
Okay.
minutes later, then a chair got involved. She stated that Bianca cheated first because she was using her hair as a foreign object.
Mhm.
So restarted the match. No disqualifications, no countouts. That's when Carmella and Queen Zelina came in the picture. Got a little bit involved. It's all right. It's all fair. No disqualification. So,
Mhm.
and then they helped carry Bianca Belair to a good match, which is always great to see. And then she overcame the odds. Though she did defeat Sonya to retain the title. In her
So my notes were correct. Not only
she didn't beat Queen Zelina.
not only did she beat Zelina and Carmella,
no,
but she beat Sonya Deville as well.
She beat Sonya Deville, and then later Sonya Deville beat Carmella and Zelina backstage by slapping them in their face.
Is there a fine for that coming? I would think.
I
mean, I don't. I wonder where they go with this angle. I mean, I'm kind of surprised they burned the title match or whatever was supposed to be there.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do it at Backlash or something.
Because it was like kind of quick, right? Like that's a quick turnaround. Like
they did it within a couple of weeks. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the title picture.
I'm kind of okay with it. It kind of maybe we'll see where things go, but maybe breaks away from an authority storyline again in a way. But then also, there were some other returns. There's a lot going on in the women's division that will lead for some legitimate contenders for Belair's title. Now we'll see how that all kind of plays out. Where do you want to go next on this card here?
Well, I mean, let's talk about the women's division.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? Let's save it because
we'll save it for after the break.
I want to talk about someone who
I was surprised. He jumped up. He
pounced on the guy.
He pounced on the table and pounced on the guy. Yeah, and then he stretched the guy. He stretched him in the ring. He stretched him in the ring, then pounced on the table, and then stretched the guy on the table.
A lot of stretching going on. A lot of, I think, a lot of sweat.
Yeah.
The
guy was all stretched out. Veer won though.
Veer paid his respects to Randy Orton. I think he gave him a fist bump when Randy came into the ring. So.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Wait.
A couple of heels did. T-Bar. And Paulo and
because they were all out.
They were all out there celebrating Orton.
The heels and the baby faces.
Theory was there. Who else was there?
So wait, was this like?
This was for Orton, yeah.
I know, but were they like breaking kayfabe here or what?
A bit. They were clapping. They were acknowledging Randy Orton because the tribal chief wasn't there, so they had to acknowledge someone. So.
I mean, I'm not surprised they don't show up for work.
Well, he's a busy guy. He's probably doing a media appearance or something.
I mean, is it really 600 days if you're only there for 300? I mean, he doesn't wrestle every day as it is.
He doesn't need to. There's not a worthy challenger. When there's a worthy challenger, he'll wrestle.
Brian Orton's right there.
He's not worthy. He's in the tag division.
He has more titles than Roman has.
Alleged.
In his career, don't allege. No.
For now.
No.
When we return, we'll talk about Randy Orton. We'll talk about Tribal Chief and who has more titles than anyone and everyone. Right here on episode 1 of Beyond the Ropes. We are 22S Radio. 22S Radio is 22smedia.com and 88.1 FM, KKJZ, HD3, Long Beach, Los Angeles. We are just a few weeks away from the WrestleMania Backlash. Say it with me, James. Premium. Live. Event.
Mm-hmm.
And we got a huge return in the women's division. Well, first off, since WrestleMania, big time Becky Lynch made her return. She got a promo saying, she's at rock bottom. Now that she's hit rock bottom, there's only one way to go, and that's up. And she's saying, now we get to witness the rise and the comeback of Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
We get to cheer her on now. It's a whole thing. I mean, she carried Belair in that Mania match.
So. Whoa, no, she didn't. Or she would have won.
I don't know about that. Anyways, she said no one's gonna stop her. Not Liv Morgan, not Tamina, not Dana Brooke. And then she was interrupted by my personal favorite.
I mean, some of the names she named there weren't like yeah, we know.
She's just mentioning some of the names on the division. She's got to go through the list. Don't be disrespectful to
I'm not.
the 24/7 division. She was interrupted by the Empress of Tomorrow, the returning Asuka, who made a return after 280 days of recovering from an injury.
She was trending on Twitter a few times throughout the week. I mean, it was no surprise that she was going to return. Like, it was kind of talked about.
It was rumored, speculated that she was expected back within the next couple of weeks. So happened today. She came out, did the whole entrance, and then spoke in little Japanese, and then told Becky, "I can stop you." And then she said, "Because no one is ready for Asuka." And then give her a little something I want to do to you, James.
Yeah,
little flick on the nose.
She gave her a little flick on the nose, and then Asuka tweeted it out like as a GIF. It was so great. I saw it. I replayed it like 3 or 4 times.
Then like new move achieved or unlocked, and that's
like the Xbox thing, or that's funny. That it was great. Like, it was a great little thing, and
Becky responded.
Yes, I like Becky's response.
Oh, well, in the ring, and then we'll talk about
the
tweet.
But
Becky responded in the ring, and then she went to attack her. Asuka avoided it, and then was about to hit her with the spinning back fist before Becky left the ring. So it looks like we'll be getting this little feud. Maybe we get this at WrestleMania Backlash. That'll be a fun match.
Maybe that'd be kind of cool. I mean, make it the main event. Why not?
I'm not opposed to that. Becky Lynch, as you mentioned, had a few words to say over on the Twitter machine. And what does she say here? Let's see. I literally handed this bleep my title, and then she posted the GIF of her when she made the announcement that she was pregnant. Here
she did hand the title over to her. She did, because she was scared.
Asuka won the Money in the Bank, and then Becky was with child.
She was scared.
Little Roe, little Roe, that's her name is. So she was not scared. She had to go away
because she was scared.
No, that's not true.
So do you think now? Do you think now's the right time to have this feud? I mean, I like to think that just this feud alone will make someone the #1 contender, right? Like, they have to kind of get back into this, and it's, I just.
We got a few feuds in the women's division going on, and I like it. Specifically the Raw women's division, because over in another little rivalry we got going, Rhea Ripley, who turned on Liv last week, was cutting a promo saying, she's been carrying 2 tag teams, and she didn't like it. She wants to focus on herself now, go after that Raw Women's Championship, and then Liv comes in and attacks her. So we've got that little feud going on. We got now Asuka, Becky. Right now, the Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair has no competitor. I mean, she might have.
That's why she
might have Sonya still, depending on what they do with this. But yeah, there's a few feuds just going on, and that could be #1 contenders matches at some point.
And I'm okay with it, because it's kind of like when you have, you have all these other feuds going on, it kind of builds that division, makes it strong. But then you have Belair maybe just going off against Deville, or you're getting Zelina, you're getting Carmella involved, keeping them busy. Your champion is kind of maybe a little bit on the back burner, just and allowing time for the division to grow a little bit, and then you can kind of form some credible, get some credible, contenders in that mix, instead of just, hey, beats one person, hey, beats another. It's just someone just shows up and wants to challenge. Instead, you got some quality matches you can build off of.
Absolutely.
For these opponents.
You're building some new competitors. Obviously, Becky is already wrestled. So I don't think they're going to be going back to that, at least not right now. But you've got Asuka, who I don't believe has had a match with Bianca Belair. Could be wrong there. If they have one, it hasn't been really significant. You got Rhea Ripley, who might have wrestled. I know they've had interactions in the ring. Don't know if they've actually had one-on-one matches, but this is a different Rhea Ripley. And then you got Liv Morgan, who I know has had a match or 2 with Bianca Belair, but it also it's a different story when you have the title involved. So I think you have a number of competitors. And if you want to go back to Sonya Deville, you can do that too with the whole authority gimmick. I think you've got a lot of potential, specifically in that Raw Women's division. And hopefully on SmackDown, they get something going there too, because right now it's Charlotte and Ronda. And hopefully we spice things up a little bit. So.
Yeah, so that, and then again too, I'm just curious to see where they go with this Liv and Rhea thing. Is, you know, they had the backstage promo. I think you kind of mentioned some of this already. They had the backstage promo. Liv attacks Rhea. One thing that caught my attention was Rhea saying, "Oh, I've been pretty much thrown into the tag division, and I'm getting paired up with disappointment after disappointment, more or less." Talking about Liv, and she was with Nikki ASH or whatever. Prior to that. So yeah, she kind of really has just been kind of tucked away into the women's tag division for a little bit. So now you kind of get her back in that mix, and we'll see. I'm still kind of hoping to see something here with Edge and Damian Priest maybe, but you know, you don't want to just throw her right into that. So I think this is a good way to kind of transition her maybe into something like that. But regardless, I think it's going to be pretty neat just to see where they go with a lot of this women's division storyline stuff going forward.
Absolutely. So we you mentioned the Edge storyline. AJ, nobody we've seen this week, but this time they take their aggression out on Finn Balor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I hope this leads to Finn Balor teaming with AJ, because little concern for Finn. He hasn't been doing so well lately.
Mm-hmm.
Missing WrestleMania, losing the U.S. title, not seemingly getting a rematch for that title.
How close do you think we are from Finn asking for his release?
Like
I mean, like all the signs are there for this to be looking like this, right?
I think he's a guy who will wait out his deal.
Yeah, but what is the deal? You know what I mean?
I don't know how long it is. I don't know when he last signed. It could have been a year ago, 2 years ago. I don't know what the most recent signing was, but I feel like he's someone that's just going to wait it out rather than just ask for the release. I think he'll fulfill the deal. If he's not happy, he'll let it go and then move on.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? It could be a guy that understands his position currently. He is a little older. Obviously, maybe Vince doesn't see him as the top guy like sure many do, like I do. But he's still on TV regularly. Again, if this leads to a potential tag team with AJ, kind of reuniting that Bullet Club thing, even though they were never actually in the Bullet Club together, there's still that correlation there that they could do, and it would be interesting to spark up this little feud they got with Edge and Damian Priest. So
yeah, I think it'd be either way, it would make for a good match, a good little just have those guys in the ring together, and again really give a bump to Damian Priest, especially if you have him, the one who comes out looking the strongest, or getting him over, getting pinfall victories and stuff over those guys, because when you're in there with an Edge and then you have the talent that you do with AJ Styles and Finn Balor, yeah, you already have Damian Priest with a guy like Edge, because you want to kind of get him over that next hurdle, kind of solidify him as that next guy. I think maybe Priest is a little bit older to just be yelling young upstart for him too, but I think regardless, I think they're obviously maybe have some big plans here for a guy like Damian Priest, and we'll see how it plays out.
Speaking of young upstart, we had Miss TV with special guest, the new United States champion, Theory. I don't like that. That's supposed to be the future face of the company. They got to do something with his name.
Yeah.
I
I just feel like they just, I don't know, because he was in there with Stone Cold. I don't know, why are we just taking Austin away now or whatever?
I think it's because Vince doesn't want anyone with the real name anymore.
Is that Austin? Is that his real name?
Austin, I think it might. I don't know if Theory is real.
But his first name's Austin, so they're just moving away from that.
Austin, yeah, I think it's to want the first name. So
okay.
Miz interviewed him. They compared each other. As I mentioned earlier, kind of some similarities there. He gave him some advice. Don't throw out U.S. Open challenges like some previous superstars. And then, by the way, he had a little interaction, side note, with Cena over on Twitter. Theory did.
I think I saw something about that. What was that again, though?
There was a live event that Theory was talking about. I guess he trashed a young fan who was wearing a Cena outfit.
Mm.
And then I guess he tagged Cena in it, saying he's going to be better than Cena. And then Cena kind of replied with the very diplomatic, saying, "Yeah, you're going to be the future face, and I hope in 20 years, you are what you're saying you are." You know, kind of wishing him well, but at the same time, it's like a backhanded compliment.
Long-term booking, pal.
Yeah, and then Theory replied again, and then so there's a little thing there. There's potentially a match happening at some point. I would not be surprised.
You never know.
Anyways, they were interrupted by the returning Mustafa Ali. That's
Mhm.
right. After his
Shocking.
hiatus since October, when he,
But not on his part, though.
I mean, he left. He didn't want to. The
Or
the
was
whole
it on
thing
his
was-
part?
The whole thing was.
Oh, because he wanted to get released. So yeah, I guess it was a hiatus.
Yeah, he got into a shouting match with Vince around that time, I think, and then he left, and he asked for his release in January. At least that's when he made it public.
Mhm.
Of course, the whole Free Ali movement happened, and we haven't really seen much from him other than a few workout videos and stuff in the ring, from his personal gym and stuff. But yeah, it was rumored over the weekend that he would be making a comeback, and he is back, and he's a babyface now. Got a nice little pop. His reference, "Hey, I didn't know you still worked here," and then Theory said, "Aren't you the guy that took his ball and went home?" Yeah.
That's great.
So Ali came back same as you shouldn't be cracking jokes. If I wanted to laugh, I would just watch you wrestle, which is a pretty interesting shot there.
But we go ahead? I just think does this mean, I mean, this doesn't mean like Ollie's now staying long term or whatever. This just may mean just come on, finish out your contract, let's get it over with, and then you can go.
We don't know the details. Apparently, there wasn't anything set for his quote unquote creative. It could just be, him maybe, all right, finish out your contract or something.
Well, yeah, because if you're sitting at home, I think that's the whole thing. Like if you're sitting at home, it doesn't count towards you're prolonging your own contract. So if you want to get out of it, then you got to ride through it. You got to ride it out.
Yeah, it could be that.
So I think it's that.
Maybe at some point he just said, "All right, I'll just come back, whatever."
If he starts doing a bunch of jobs, then you know what's up.
He ended up taking on The Miz in an impromptu match where he ended up winning via roll up. After the match, he went up to the ramp. He was celebrating. Was attacked by I guess another heel turn, as I mentioned earlier, with a few turns happening. Ciampa. He lost his first name as well. Ciampa is just going by Ciampa, which is fine. It's kind of it's his name, so it's not Butch, who's missing.
Yeah, he's been.
I hope we can find him.
I don't know where he goes. He just storms off or something.
I think so. I think he just ran away. So, but anyways, Ciampa, and they kind of moved on from this really quick. And they didn't linger too long on it. But it looks like Ciampa and Ali will be having some sort of feud, which is fine.
That's different. I mean, I don't know if they've had some before. Maybe
they have not, and I like this because you're building feuds without championships. You're doing something. I mean, if this is around the U.S. title scene, that's fine too. For all we know, they could all be in the title scene going after Theory as well, because I don't know who he would be facing in the near future anyway. So this is good.
I mean, yeah, it's just for for what it is. No titles, no nothing. It's two guys, that we
to do as well. Sorry to interrupt. You give Ciampa something to do as well, who just made his Raw debut.
Well, right. That's exactly the point. Is like you're getting two guys who are now, kind of fresh on the main roster again. Tommaso Ciampa or Ciampa has been there a little bit on and off. We haven't seen a whole lot of Ali in a while. You get both those guys back. Both of them are pretty good workers, right? So it's like you're gonna get a good series here of matches. I mean, we'll see what the storyline is going to be or how it goes, but I think just in terms of work in the ring, if they're given the opportunity and allowed to work the way that they're at their best at, I think it can only mean good things for those guys.
I agree. And hopefully, Mustafa Ali is happy with his decision going back to work for whatever reason, whether they came up with a mutual agreement or if he's just writing out his contract, whatever it is. Great to see him in the ring. He's a babyface. Good to see him because at one point he was moving up the ranks as a babyface a couple years back. Unfortunately, injuries kind of prevented him from going higher. So we'll see where they go from here. So that was basically the gist of Monday Night Raw. We did get that massive 8-man tag team match I talked about earlier between the Usos, Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins taking on RK Bro, Ezekiel, and the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Randy Orton got gave everyone an RKO at the end of the night and got the victory. So good way to end that celebration there. We've got, as I mentioned, WrestleMania Backlash coming up. Don't know. We're not going to get predictions yet.
There's not a whole lot to predict.
Madcap Moss versus Happy Corbin. Omos versus Bobby Lashley. Charlotte Flair defending the SmackDown Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey in an I Quit match. RK Bro versus the Usos in a championship unification match for the WWE Tag Team Championships. Those are the matches that have been announced. Something else announced for SummerSlam at Nissan Stadium in Nashville. Tickets are available now. So there's a huge stadium show. We've got the NXT 2.0. They got Spring Breakin' happening, I believe, next week, if I'm not mistaken. So you're going to have your Braun Breakers. You're going to have your, I think a tag match was just announced. That's right. Cora Jade and Nikita Lyons, everyone's Twitter's favorite wrestler, taking on Lash Legend and Natalia. So James' favorite wrestler. There you go. Tag team match there. Made official for Spring Breakin' next week. So a little NXT talk there. For AEW, got a quick minute here. I know they're starting the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Did we talk about I think we did. We talked about the New Japan deal.
If we didn't, we just did.
We just did. They have a deal with New Japan. They're having a pay-per-view co-company or co-branded pay-per-view in June called Forbidden Door.
That's right, yeah.
So that's happening. And I think we covered all our bases. Next week's episode, we'll get into more in depth with the WrestleMania Backlash. We'll talk more Tribal Chief.
Yeah, maybe.
We'll talk about Seth frickin' Rollins. We'll talk about, hopefully, is he going to make his debut soon? Say it with me, James. L.A. Knight. Hopefully, we'll see him on TV soon. Hopefully.
Is he going to still be L.A. Knight?
I hope so. I hope he gets to do the thing. But until next time.
Wait, what?
He gets to do the thing. I hope he gets to do the
thing. Oh, he gets to do the thing. I was like, I thought you said you hope he gets a new thing. I was like, wait a minute.
I hope he gets to do it.
Yeah.
Until next time, it's been a great episode of Beyond the Ropes, and it has been absolutely too sweet.
Too sweet.